To college football, where the SWAC, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, has joined a growing list of conferences that will postpone fall sports because of the coronavirus pandemic. But here's the interesting note from this. The SWAC plans for football, including a 7-game conference schedule that will begin with an 8-week training period in January of 2021. The spring football season that we've been talking so much about appears to be on the way. And here are Heather Dinich and Paul Finebaum. And Heather, let's talk about this. What is the significance of this announcement from the SWAC?
Well, this is the first I've heard of such a detailed spring plan made public. And SWAC Commissioner Charles McClellan told me yesterday evening he wanted to do that to give his fans and players some hope, something to look forward to. That being said, he also made it very clear to me that the virus will continue to dictate the conference's decisions, meaning this might not happen at all, but it's in place to at least give them some hope.
Okay, fair enough. And it sounds like a reasonable plan. And so then, Paul, I come to you, and most football fans around the country will be saying, if that can happen somewhere, can it happen everywhere? Should we be preparing for Power 5 conferences to make similar sorts of decisions?
Absolutely not, Greeny, because the Power 5 conferences right now still believe, rightly or wrongly, they can get this in the fall. I mean, even the Texas athletic director yesterday was saying we expect 50% capacity. So whether they are delusional or they know more than we do, I don't think anybody is certain right now. But the Power 5 commissioners continue to push hard toward the fall, and they are not giving up until they are told they have no more options left.
Heather, what are you hearing from the Power 5 ADs and others around the country?
I spoke with some athletic directors yesterday who told me that the Big 12 athletic directors are certainly still very much in favor, all of them, in playing a full 12-game schedule. And I talked to multiple athletic directors in 3 Power 5 conferences yesterday who said we are going to exhaust every option we have to try and play football in the fall. Of course, everyone says, with the caveat that the virus allows this, right? The pandemic is the driving force, so are the medical advisory committees, but you better believe that they're going to try to play football games in the fall before they start to turn the page towards what a spring season might look like.
Heather, when you talked to the SWAC commissioner, did the topic of players who were considering being drafted come up? Because there are always quite a few players from that conference who wound up getting drafted into the NFL draft. How would they envision that looking as far as the players who are legitimate pro prospects?
That's a great question. We didn't talk a lot about that. We honestly talked more about finances and their championship and how it would actually play out logistically. But I know that's a huge concern, and that's one of the big concerns in the SEC as well, as to what that would look like. Because from what I've been told, the NFL wouldn't budge in terms of changing its date for the NFL draft in April. So that's a major concern amongst all of the conferences at every level. But Jack Swarbrick, the athletic director at Notre Dame, said, Heather, that's not going to be the driving force. If it does come down to the spring, there are bigger issues than the NFL draft that we're going to have to deal with.
How about that, Paul? How about the players who will be making those kinds of decisions based upon whatever circumstances we wind up seeing from college football over the next, call it, 10 months?
Greeny, not much has changed there in relation to the top players. They will not play in the spring. And you may even see more bailout because right now there's so much chaos going on. You have high schools canceling in California, and players there are saying, I'm going straight to college as soon as I can walk in the front door. So it is mass chaos in many respects, but players don't want to be playing college football in March and April while their friends are being drafted in the NFL. So that's a non-starter for the elite. But back to the original question, this week and next are critical. The Big Ten is working on scheduling this week. Next week, the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12 are going to have to make some determination if they make it to week 1.
Very quickly, Heather, what should we be watching for in that? You say the Big 12 in particular is still pushing for a full schedule this fall. What should we be, the college football fans out there who want to see a season, what should we be looking and listening for?
We should be looking for how the experience actually unfolds starting on Friday when the NCAA 2-week period for enhanced summer access begins, and next week is really the critical time frame because they want to see what does it look like when football players are on the field together going through walkthroughs with a football in their hand. That's what these commissioners are waiting for, to see what that experience looks like before they can make any major decisions.
All right, we will see. And obviously both of you will be there for us as we continue to work our way towards it. But again, the SWAC talking now actively and has a plan for playing football in the spring. We'll see if they are the only ones. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.